Tonight, you look down at a clean plate and call it paleo, a lean steak, a handful of berries, a few perfect nuts. Maybe your phone even tells you this is ancestral eating, simple and pure, the way your ancestors ate before supermarkets ruined everything. But for 99.9% of human history, that plate would be a fantasy. There's no fridge humming behind you. There's no grocery aisle, no salt shaker, no butcher cutting neat red squares under bright lights. There's not even a promise that the fire will still be alive when the sun goes down. Food is not clean. Food is not scheduled. Food is a smell on the wind, a swarm of flies over a carcass, a root that might feed you or twist your stomach into pain. Sometimes it crawls, sometimes it leaks, sometimes it has already been opened by teeth that are bigger than yours, and you are hungry enough to consider it anyway. That is the world your ancestors eat in. Not a diet plan, not a lifestyle, a daily negotiation with rot, bone, smoke, mud, and fear. So if the real ancient menu would make you gag and the wrong bite could kill you, what did your ancestors actually eat? Now put Flint inside that hunger. The air is hot enough to turn old blood sweet, and the ground is crowded with signs you would miss in a second. Flies gather in black knots. Bones bleach in the sun. Smoke scratches the throat. Mud holds hoof prints, paw prints, and the deep dragging mark of something heavy pulled through grass. Flint has a spear in his hand, but the spear does not make him king of this place. It makes him a person with one sharp stick among jaws, claws, horns, and animals that can outrun him before he takes 10 steps. His stomach hurts in waves, not the small hunger you feel before lunch. The kind that makes your hands shake and your thinking narrow until every smell becomes a question. Can you eat this? Can you reach it first? Can you keep it after you find it? There is no refrigerator waiting back at camp. There is no reliable storehouse sealed against insects and damp. There's no clean counter, no soap, no date printed on the side of a package. A meal exists only when weather allows it, when tools hold together, when fire survives, when the group remembers what is safe, and when bigger, faster mouths do not take it away. Ancient eating is not about choosing the healthiest option. It is about paying for every bite with time, danger, and judgment. The wrong food can empty your body with sickness, but no food can end the story even faster. And the first real meal may begin with a smell Flint did not create. Flint does not find meat by seeing a perfect animal fall in front of him. He finds it by noticing the sky. Vultures turn in slow circles over one patch of grass, and the air carries a sour copper smell that pulls at his empty stomach before his mind catches up. Something has died, but that does not mean the food belongs to him. It may belong to lions still resting in the shade with red faces. It may belong to hyenas waiting just beyond the brush, jaws strong enough to break bones. Flint cannot crack with his teeth. It may belong to every other hungry mouth watching the same birds. Your ancestors are often second in line, not rulers of the kill. That sounds humiliating until you understand the danger. A carcass is not a dinner table. It is a trap with meat in the middle. One wrong step, and the grass moves. One hidden cat, one charging hyena, one infected cut on the hand, and the meal becomes the thing that kills you. So Flint reads the ground before he rushes in. He checks the tracks. He listens for growls. He waits. Then the group becomes loud. Stones fly. Spears wave. Voices rise together because noise can buy a few desperate minutes. This is not weakness. This is intelligence under pressure. Get close. Cut fast. Grab what you can carry. Leave before the owners come back. At Olduvai Gorge in Tanzania, archaeologists have found animal bones with cut marks from stone tools dating to around 2 million years ago, evidence that early people processed carcasses in exactly this kind of dangerous world. But the meat on the outside is only the beginning, because the richest food may be locked where teeth have already given up. So Flint does not stop at the red strips he can slice from the outside. That meat is obvious, and obvious food disappears first. Teeth have already torn it. Beaks have already picked it. Flies have already found every wet edge. But inside the long bones, behind the hard white wall, there is something the open air has not ruined yet. Marrow, thick, fatty, rich, and hidden. Flint lifts a stone with both hands and brings it down until the bone jumps in the dust. Once, twice, again. The crack is the sound of a locked meal opening. This is where the ancient advantage changes shape. It is not about being stronger than the lion. It is not about biting harder than the hyena. It is about noticing that a leg bone is not trash after the meat is gone. It is a container. It is about having the patience to carry it, the right stone to break it, and the nerve to keep working while the smell of blood pulls danger back toward you. Skulls matter too. They are harder. They are messier. They can split badly and cut the hands. But inside them is brain tissue, another soft, fatty food, when lean muscle is scarce or too dangerous to fight for. At Olduvai Gorge and other early archaeological sites, researchers have documented fossil bones with both cut marks and percussion marks, the battered scars left when stone tools sliced flesh and hammerstones broke bones open. Those marks tell you something brutal. Your ancestors were not just eating the animal, they were solving it. They were reading the body like a map of calories. The ribs give scraps, the joints give tendons, the skull gives brain, the long bones give marrow. And the real prize is not the clean steak your modern plate imagines. The real prize is fat, sealed inside bone, waiting for the hands that know how to break it free. But even that prize runs out, and when the last bone is empty, hunger does not politely leave with it. But most days are not carcass days. Most days are the space between them. The loud feast is over, the bones are empty, and Flint still has to wake up tomorrow with enough strength to walk. So the menu gets smaller, rougher, and more patient. He digs at the ground with a pointed stick for roots and tubers. He turns bark and dead wood for grubs. He checks nests for eggs, river stones for shellfish, dry grass for seeds, thorny shrubs for fruit that has not already been taken. Some bites are sweet. Some are bitter enough to warn him away. Some must be roasted before they stop hurting the mouth. Some must be soaked, cracked, scraped, or left alone completely. This is why there is no single ancient diet. Near a coast, your ancestors may eat shellfish until their hands are cut by shells. Near a river, they may trap fish, gather reeds, and watch birds for hidden nests. In a dry season, they may chew hard seeds and dig deep for swollen roots. In a cold season, they may follow herds and pray the fat lasts. Food changes with the place, the month, the rain, the memory of the oldest person in camp. That memory is a survival library. It tells you what ripens after thunder, what leaf burns the tongue, what nut must be cracked with stone, what berry looks safe and empties the body by morning. Hunger makes this harder. Flint's head goes light, his legs feel hollow, his stomach cramps, then quiets in a way that feels worse. The longer he goes without food, the more every bad choice starts to look like a meal. And that is when the most shocking choice begins to make sense. But here's what almost nobody tells you. Some of the meat your ancestors ate may not have been fresh at all. Not fresh like a butcher's counter. Not fresh like a steak wrapped in paper. A carcass left for hours or longer begins to change. Tough fibers soften. The smell grows sharper. Flies arrive. Bacteria begin breaking down tissue before your teeth ever touch it. To you, that can mean danger. To Flint, starving beside smoke and dust, it can also mean a narrow chance. Not every rotten bite is safe. The wrong meat can flood the body with sickness and end everything by morning. But people learn the difference between meat that has turned deadly and meat that has aged just enough to become chewable, smoky, dried at the edge, sour in the nose, but still worth the risk. Flint gags because his body is warning him. Then he swallows because hunger is arguing louder. Revulsion and survival are fighting inside the same throat, and the part he wants most is not the lean red strip, it is the greasy seam near the organs. It is the marrow still shining inside cracked bone. It is the soft fat that turns a dangerous meal into real fuel. Lean meat alone can become a trap. Hunters have long described protein poisoning, often called rabbit starvation, when too much lean meat and too little fat leave the body sick, weak, and unable to keep going. In 1928 and 1929, Vilhjalmur Stefansson and Karsten Andersen lived for a year under medical observation at Bellevue Hospital in New York on an all-meat diet, and the key was not endless lean steak. The diet had to include enough fat. That detail cracks the whole modern fantasy open. Ancient eating is not clean protein on a plate. It is timing. It is smoke. It is judgment. It is fat before another mouth takes it, and energy before the body gives out. And the strangest part is that your body still remembers both sides of that bargain. Now the fire becomes your kitchen light. Flint's cracked bone becomes the butter on your knife, the oil on your fries, the cream in your coffee. The roasted nuts you keep reaching for when you're not even truly hungry. Your craving for fat is not just modern weakness. It is an old survival signal treating dense energy as precious, because for your ancestors, fat could mean warm hands, clear thinking, and one more morning. But your gag reflex is running the other half of the code. Sour milk hits your nose and your throat tightens before you decide anything. Spoiled meat turns your stomach. A bitter taste makes you pause. A slimy texture makes your body pull back. Those reactions are not random disgust. They are alarms, built to stop a dangerous bite before it gets swallowed. So you live with two ancient instructions at once. Want the fat, because fat can keep you alive. Fear the rot, because contaminated food can take life away fast. Every late-night craving and every instant recoil from a bad smell is a message from Flint's world still speaking through your body. And that means the ancient diet was never really left behind. So the real ancient diet is not the clean fantasy on your plate. It is local, seasonal, messy, risky, and brutally practical. It is cracked bone in the dust. It is smoke in the eyes. It is roots pulled from hard ground, insects under bark, eggs taken before something else takes them, organs eaten first, fat guarded like treasure, and hunger making every decision sharper. Flint does not eat to look strong. He eats because the sun is dropping and his body has to make it through the dark. That is the world you came from. Every meal you eat today sits on top of that older memory, the memory of searching, testing, smelling, sharing, gagging, and swallowing, because tomorrow is not guaranteed. And maybe that is the real lesson. Food was never just food. Food was knowledge. So here is the next mystery. Before labels, doctors, kitchens, or science, how did your ancestors learn which plants were medicine, which were meals, and which could kill them? That mystery is still waiting beyond the firelight. Subscribe for more before history stories from the world you came from.